Hello and welcome to the next instalment in the series of videos that we've been doing to show you what we've been up to on the layout over the last couple of weeks since the last update. We hope you enjoyed the first update, and any comments or ways we can improve these videos we'd much appreciated if you leave them in the comments section below. This week's video is to show what we've done since the last one, and we've done a few things, including adding some of the electrically operated dapole semaphore signals, which you should have seen in a clip at the start of the video, with the new Hornby Large Prairie running on the branch line. So we've got two of those installed. One is acting as a section signal for trains going away from the junction, entering the single line, and the other one is for trains coming towards the junction from the single line. It adds a bit of extra detail for people to spot when the layout is running. Also adds a bit more operational interest for the operators. We've got a couple of switches on the panel here, and yeah, they work very nicely. So what we're going to do now is show you the progress we've been making on the track project, which we started in the last video. So we'll cross over to that now. So here we are on the back straight boards again, and looks quite different to how it did in the last video. So in case you didn't watch the last video, we completely took all the track on this section, all three main lines, out and right back to the bare baseboard, and now we're in the process of relaying it with a better underlay and brand new track. So I started yesterday with the outer main line, and we've relayed that all the way from where it meets the existing track through the tunnel, right the way through and up into the fiddle yard just behind where the camera is now. And we're very pleased with the result, because before we were seeing a lot of problems with levelling on this section. There was dips, there was humps, and the track was not particularly reliable in this section. We were having a lot of problems with trains becoming divided without necessarily noticing, and things like that, and also derailments caused by the changes in levels as the track level goes up and down. So far on this new section that we laid yesterday, we haven't had any of those problems, and we've been able to get rid of most of those problems by slowly rising and falling the underlay as and when it was required. And we've also strengthened this whole baseboard and tried to level it out the best that we can. So now, hopefully, going into the future, we shouldn't have the same problems that we've experienced before. And we've also got a brand new rail and brand new track in this section, so it should be good to go for another, hopefully, 10, 12 years, who knows how long. The old stuff was at least that old, and it would be nice to be able to not touch it again for that length of time. So now we're going to begin laying the inner main line adjacent to the outer main line, and we'll try and get as much of that done as we can today. Now you join us after some time since the last clip, and we've now got the inner main line completely relayed and tested. We've run a few test trains and it's working quite well. So that's pretty much the same as the outer main line. So we've got two out of the three main lines completely finished, ready for ballasting hopefully, after we've done a few more tests to make sure there isn't any unforeseen problems, but so far it's all looking pretty good. So now join us about a week or so after the last film, and as you can see, the trains are running again. We've got all three of the main lines fully relayed, up on a bed of cork this time, as opposed to what it was before, and it's all running very smoothly, as you can see. Hopefully not tempting fate by saying this, but so far we've not experienced any of the previous problems that we had with these track sections. We did have issues with trains uncoupling and things like that, but so far we haven't seen that again, and we hope not to see it again. So time will tell as to whether that has been successful or not. But yeah, the next job will be to ballast it all, which we'll be doing in the next few weeks or so, and then should be pretty much ready to go, hopefully for another 20 years like the old track. Now I'm joined here by James, who's one of the leading lights on our scenic team, and he'll be explaining what he's been doing to the farm scene that sits above the track that we've been working on here, taking the opportunity whilst we had to take it all off to do the track work. So over to you, James.
Thank you, Matt. Oh, do I talk? Oh. Right, hello everyone. Obviously, Matt's just introduced me. I'm James. I am part of the scenics group that we have up here. Of late, I have mainly been focusing on the farm, which is above the three main lines of track 1, track 2 and track 3. The reason why I'm doing this is because the old farm originally looked a little bit tatty after what I'd done, both me and the team at the front. Sort of trying to improve it to that sort of standard, trying to make it a little bit more eye appealing to that of the visitors. As much as I've done so far, since both the farm and the tunnel mouth are removable, I've had them both off to deal with them. At the minute I can't lift them to show you because I've got a bit of path, they're still drying in a minute, and I'd rather not interfere with the track operation as well. But at the moment, what I've done is originally there used to be this type of sort of ground, sort of dirt pasture that used to be for the road, and at the minute all I've done to that is literally just used a bit of old ballast, use that just to make it a little bit more gravelly. Obviously at the minute it's a little bit bright. I'll try and do some weathering, or probably Tom, another scenics department bloke, who might weather it a little bit. I've kept it the sort of same sort of shape, same sort of style as the old farm. Building was originally there, so I left it there. The fencing and that was needed revamping, so I've taken that all off, placed it back down on the ballast, glued it all down. As you can see, it's still not quite complete. Here, for the tunnel, I've tried to blend it in as best as I can, because obviously you've got, since there's two main pieces that are removable, you've obviously got a massive gap, so what I'd like to try and do is hide those gaps up as much as possible, which I've sort of accomplished here in this little corner. That's sort of done. Obviously I've still got this line here where I did the incision of cutting the tunnel mouth out. That needs to be worked on. Obviously I'll be able to get that done probably either today or next week or something like that. And hopefully what I'm going to plan for having in here is possibly a little apple orchard, a little something like that. Probably not as much there, well it'd probably be enough to make it a little bit nice and appealing to everyone, but also it'll still retain the fact that it's a nice distance away from the actual tunnel mouth, make it sort of realistic and everything like that. I try and aim to be realistic as possible, but sometimes you can sort of bend the rules, but at the same time I try and keep to it as best I can. As far as I'm aware, that's pretty much all I've done of late. I have also been tasked in trying to deal with the shunting yard. Obviously you probably won't be able to see that because it is literally covered in everything that I've brought out, used and pretty much just got out for inspiration for scenic wise. Yeah, you'll probably see that in another update, but for the time being that is all this what I've done.
Right, so that pretty much wraps up this update, and we'll try and get another video ready to show what we do in the next few weeks as soon as we can. So we hope you enjoyed what you've seen in this update, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you.